By now, many of you may have seen that I've been working on my own toy hauler floor plan. Now, that doesn't mean a manufacturer is going to pick up the design, but it's definitely a little bit different than what most manufacturers have released in terms of toy haulers, really in any configuration. There have been some manufacturers in the past that have attempted a similar design to what I've put out, but I don't think they've nailed it because they fall short in the same areas that many toy haulers currently fall short, and that is the living space in the kitchen area. Typically, when you see a toy hauler, its focus is really around getting their garage as big as possible and removing some focus from the living room and kitchen, and in some cases having to combine the living room and kitchen in order to give you a larger garage. Anyways, I want to talk about the floor plan that I'm working on and let you know what my direction is as well as what my idea is with this floor plan. So hang tight, I'll be right back. Alright, so I know that a lot of folks who are shopping for toy haulers live on the West Coast. And when you live in the West Coast, typically there are three major requirements of any toy hauler that you look at. The first is a gas electric refrigerator, and that really holds true for RVs in general. I've heard from multiple manufacturers that West Coast sales for RVs are highly dependent on that RV having a gas electric refrigerator. But in my opinion, I believe solar and lithium-ion technology have advanced so far that you really don't need to have gas electric refrigerators anymore, because residential refrigerators can do so well, especially with Energy Star labels giving you a much more energy efficient refrigeration unit, as well as the ability to solar power and to use battery technology to power them at night. But that being said, I still hear time and time again from manufacturers that in the West Coast, if you don't put a gas electric refrigerator in, you're not going to make any sales. So that is a continual challenge with toy haulers and the placement of where you can put a refrigerator. In the floor plan that I designed, it utilized a residential refrigerator in the kitchen simply because to properly ventilate a gas electric refrigerator, it would have to go in the slide wall. The second major requirement of many buyers looking for toy haulers in the West Coast is to have an exceptionally long garage. Typically 13 feet is the minimum size garage that a lot of people will purchase because they have a lot of toys that require that much space in the back of their toy hauler. Now, there are so many toy haulers that hit that mark. There are several toy haulers that are well in excess of 44 feet, and they give you the ability to haul your longer toys. Whenever you do that, though, just keep in mind that you are going to sacrifice some of your living and some of your kitchen space and even your bedroom space. Oftentimes the bedroom is going to be positioned in a certain fashion to utilize as much space in the back and free it up. In the case of most toy haulers in general, you're going to see them try to pull space away from the bedroom and the kitchen and living room in order to give you the largest possible garage. And that does appeal to West Coast shoppers looking for toy haulers. But that being said, there are a tremendous number of existing toy hauler floor plans out there to fit your appetite. You can go to almost any manufacturer that builds a toy hauler and they're going to have a garage that's in excess of 12 to 13 feet for your longer toys. So this specific toy hauler floor plan is not to address those buyers. If you need a 13-foot long toy hauler garage, then fortunately you have all sorts of choices for that type of garage. And finally, a lot of West Coast RV buyers are looking for the shortest possible toy hauler they can find with the longest possible garage, simply because it gains them access to certain national parks and areas where you are length restricted, where you can't go over a certain foot length, and it gives them the ability to bring their toys out. Well, again, this specific floor plan isn't necessarily for you then. This floor plan is designed to give folks who haul longer RVs the ability to take their longer RV and some toys out to their favorite place, as long as there's not a length restriction and there's nothing that prevents them from taking it there. Oftentimes, people are shopping for RVs that manufacturers might view as a limited production run. Basically, it's not profitable for them to build it because only a few people would buy it. And the problem we've had with toy haulers is, even though toy haulers tend to sit on the lot longer because it takes a specific type of buyer looking for them, the reason for that is because manufacturers tend to focus on the same things in every toy hauler design. not many of them have married the rear living room with the traditional fifth wheel floor plan to a toy hauler garage. And in most cases, they're still trying to maintain the largest possible garage they can, which inevitably is going to take away from living in kitchen space. So the design that I worked on was really to address all of those points. It was to give buyers the ability to have a traditional rear living room floor plan, a bunkhouse for when they bring their children or family or friends with them, and finally, the ability for them to have a smaller garage to carry their motorcycle, their bicycles, their power wheels, just the different things that you bring along with you if you have a large family, or if you simply plan on going out for a while, but you don't have any gas-powered toys that are going to take up a lot of room. That would require a larger garage. So, at the end of the day, this floor plan, I believe, hits every major element. Yes, it is a bit long. This thing's going to be well over 43 feet long, or right at 43 feet. I'm sure manufacturers can figure a way to shave some space out of it without compromising the overall design. It's going to give you 2 bathrooms, your major front bathroom, the main one, but then it's going to give you a smaller wet bath in the garage area, basically to minimize the amount of space it takes up, because for the most part, you don't need to have a full bath, but it is nice to have a shower. It may or may not have an outside kitchen simply because it's easy enough to draw it in a picture, but actually making that kitchen have space on the inside whenever it's closed up is kind of important. And if you don't have the backing on the inside of the coach, then you may run into a challenge. Now, there are ways to invert the kitchen to kind of make it different, or invert the living room to give you the space that would traditionally be behind the TV and entertainment center. However, that's not for everyone. So I wanted to stick to the traditional rear living room style floor plan to see how it would work. Anyways, guys, I would love your opinion on this concept. I know I've posted it on Facebook, I've put it on my Instagram page, and I've actually applied it to a few manufacturers' pages and linked them in so they can see it. I would love to get their take, and I also would like to challenge a manufacturer to pick up the design. They can modify it, we can work through it, and see ultimately if this is something that people would love. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.